Hello, this is Trent Chapman with Short Sale Genius, and a lot of people have been asking about this Bank of America Cooperative Short Sale program, and I had some questions. They were emailed to me asking me, do I have to have a certain designation, or is there certain people who are using this program to the exclusion of others? Fortunately for everybody, Bank of America wants to do more short sales, not just with people who have certain designations, so this is available to anyone that does short sales. And they are looking to reach out to real estate agents to help them with this program. Now, the real question that people should be asking is, how does the Cooperative Short Sale program match up to HAFA or a traditional short sale, and is it a good idea for my client? Now, that's the question I want to answer real quick here. I'm going to go through the Bank of America Cooperative Short Sale program and show you why they decided to use this. Now, unfortunately for many people, they look at this as a HAFA comparison, and that's really what it is. They're trying to create their own program to get rid of HAFA. Now, the Bank of America Cooperative Short Sale program was designed to help them to close short sales faster and get the homeowner credit for moving expense, $2,500 in this case. Now, those all sound like great things, but there's a few drawbacks. That is that Bank of America, they want to retain the rights to collect on the balance. They also want to set your commission at a certain price before you even list the home, and they also want to help you set the listing price. On top of that, they're going to have a forced deed in lieu at the end of 120 days of marketing if you don't sell that home. So there's a lot of downsides to the Cooperative Short Sale program, and I want to share with you what these are and some ways that you can get around that with your own short sales. Now, the first thing here on page 5 of their release they sent out, this is why they want to use the Cooperative Short Sale program. It's mirroring the HAFA program in the effect that it's allowing you to set up a short sale before you even have an offer. You can submit the customer's information, and they do a BPO, and then they actually set a sales price for you to list the home at 2 to 3 weeks later. As you and I both know, BPOs don't get done in a week, and if they're waiting to set the sales price until they get a BPO back, it might be a while before they actually have you list the home. Something important though here is that they want to help you to set the list price, commissions, and the terms if there's going to be a deficiency or not on that property before you even list the home. Now, they give you 4 months to market, as I mentioned a second ago, 120 days for marketing, and after that time, if you do not get an offer, it does not get approved, they have the right to execute a deed in lieu foreclosure, meaning no short sale for you, no short sale for your client. But the benefit here is if they do have an offer received after they have the review done internally and they've set the list price, and they promise now, I don't know if this is going to be a set fast in writing promise, but they will give you a decision in 10 days on the short sale. Now, go real quick, I'm going to go over 2 pages here of their guidelines and benefits of a cooperative short sale versus a HAFA short sale or traditional sale.
Trent, before you go into that, this sounds a lot like an REO program.
It sounds a lot like an REO program because they are trying to take control and basically say, we are going to do short sales our way by telling you how much to list it for, how much commission you're going to get paid, and we are going to help you do everything.
And if you don't get it marketed and sold in a sufficient period of time, we're going to take it back, which happens with REOs.
With REOs, it happens as well. If you can't sell a property, they'll take it back, give it to another agent. In this case, they'll take it back as a deed in lieu and give it to one of their REO agents. So this program is listed here as benefits compared to HAFA or traditional. You'll notice that it really does mirror HAFA. And the question you should be asking yourself is, why don't they just use HAFA if it mirrors HAFA? Now, there are certain exclusions here that HAFA does not allow, such as non-owner occupied, jumbo loans. And so that may be an exclusion for the HAFA program, which does open up for those people in the Cooperative Short Sale program.
So it makes it available to more potential clients.
Potentially it makes it available to more people. We'll see if it actually does. But the question you should really be asking is, why don't they use HAFA then for everything else? And that is a good question. I'll get into that in a second here. They also want you to initiate the short sale process like a HAFA short sale prior to marketing the property. Although through HAFA, you're also available to submit a short sale through HAFA even after you get an offer. I'm not going to talk about today about the benefits of or actual success rate of HAFA. That's not doing too well itself, but let's just talk about the differences here. Now, timeline for decisioning, they give themselves 10 days after they've gone through the initial setup and qualification of a short sale, which is a huge improvement. However, you're still going to expect at least 60 days to do a short sale, even with a cooperative program. HAFA short sales have taken at least 60 days. Traditionally, the one that I just closed recently took 90 days once they did submit it for HAFA. So HAFA does not mean it's going to be a fast close.
So 60 days from the time that you
submit
the client or you submit the offer?
Submitted the offer. So HAFA is not super fast, and I don't expect the cooperative short sale program to be super fast, but it will be an improvement over what they've done in the past because they're allowing you to initiate the short sale even before you get an offer. Now, the final thing here on this first page is that the cash or promissory note. With HAFA, as you all know, the huge benefit for HAFA is the seller cannot be required to contribute cash at closing or cannot be required to accept an unsecured note as part of the HAFA transaction. Now, with the Cooperative Short Sale program, the investor may require cash contribution and they may require a promissory note. So those are two things that are not included in HAFA that are included in Cooperative Short Sale. So you can see it's a very big benefit right here. Speaking of the benefits of the Cooperative Short Sale program, this is a very big benefit for BofA and their investors.
It doesn't sound like a great deal for a homeowner.
Not the best deal, and so that's why I say HAFA is a great program and a better program. Unfortunately, the guidelines do not make it so that too many banks actually use the program, and that's why Bank of America came up with their own program where they can get the best of both worlds. The homeowners think it's a great program because they're getting cash to move, and at the same time, banks are getting the ability to retain the right to collect and also have a cash contribution or an unsecured note at closing. Now, here on this page 2, we'll see the deficiency rights. The investor may require the right to pursue a deficiency in a cooperative short sale. Obviously, with HAFA, they cannot do that. So again, one of those big differences between HAFA and Bank of America's program, they may reserve the right to seek the deficiency on the balance that's owed.
So it looks like what the banks, so with HAFA, they were able to get all this documentation from the homeowner that basically told them all their assets, how they could collect money from down the road, but then told them the bank they could not collect money. So now they've said, let's do all of that except for let's not exclude ourselves from being able to collect money down the road. Let's have them disclose all of their assets, all their potential to be collected upon, and then retain the right to collect.
And that's basically what a traditional short sale is. So I don't see a big difference between Bank of America's cooperative short sale and a traditional short sale, except for they're mirroring a couple of the HAFA guidelines that make it faster, and so agents will feel like it's more efficient.
Well, the big thing is the deed in lieu, isn't it?
That's what we're getting into in a second here. Another thing about the program is that they'll do a foreclosure hold if you have an active offer. Credit impact's the same with HAFA or non-HAFA or a cooperative program. They will recommend the list price. I don't really like this part. They recommend the list price and the list commission before you actually list the home. I believe that's something that I should do as a listing agent, and I should be able to do that very well because of my abilities and my education and training as a real estate agent. But they would like to do that for you. Also, another thing here is that they expect this to have a high closure rate or approval rate after the person has been qualified for the program, much like HAFA. So HAFA, once they do get approved, has a high close ratio. However, the problem is not many people qualify or approve for the HAFA program. So it's yet to be seen how many people will actually qualify and be approved for the Cooperative Short Sale program. So far, what I've heard from people who have used it in the trial phase, it is better than HAFA.
Well, that needs a caveat as well, Trent, because in the trial phase, they were only allowing first liens, no second liens, no MI.
Correct. And so there's a lot more stipulations.
Those are the easiest short sales to close anyway.
Correct. And so this trial phase of the Cooperative Short Sale program started back in the summer 2010, and now here in January 2011. They're starting to implement it full force, but we're going to see how many liens it actually applies to and what their guidelines will eventually be. Through time, we'll tell. So with the relocation assistance, they're going to give $2,500 to the seller to cooperate with the Cooperative Short Sale program and give them some sort of incentive, which is better than nothing. It's still a little bit less than HAFA. And here's the kicker. Here's the one that a lot of agents are going to be upset about is kind of like HAFA. Although in HAFA, it's an optional thing that banks can choose to use, is the requirement that the client, the seller, do a deed in lieu of foreclosure if the home is not sold within a certain period of time, which they give 120 days or 4 months to market and sell the property. And now I believe that the banks will not foreclose if you have an active short sale offer in place, and they will not foreclose or do a deed in lieu if you also have an active short sale offer in place. However, this program gives them the right to do an automatic deed in lieu of foreclosure, which is probably not a benefit for most people unless they're getting some sort of cash incentive.
Well, that's very interesting because here we are. I'm going to tell you what the price has to be. I'm going to say fair market value based on my determination, less whatever cost I might break into it, right? And then I'm going to tell you if you don't sell it at that price within 4 months, I'm going to do a deed in lieu, which is my quick way to get the property back without having to go all the normal expense of a foreclosure process. So what I've done is I've been able to take the property back without all the expense I'd normally have to have at foreclosure. I got you to agree with it up front. And if you happen to sell it at the price that I want, which is the highest price I'm hoping to get, wonderful. So the bank is win-win-win in all those categories. The agent is a potential lose-lose-lose because not only is their commission being dictated, but they're having the price at potentially too high of a price to get offers at. And if they can't go through, then they're going to lose face with the client when the client ends up going to foreclosure in a shorter period of time than they would have normally.
So I don't see this program as a game changer, as a lot of people will call it. I do see it as a step in the right direction. However, as you can see, they're basically trying to sidestep HAFA program. So my question is, and this, use logic when you're answering this question for yourself, why haven't the banks been pushing for and doing HAFA short sales? Because this program that Bank of America is coming out with sounds exactly like HAFA, except for now they're going to allow non-owner occupied properties and a few other exclusions that are prohibit people from doing HAFA short sale. But why haven't they jumped on HAFA until now? The truth is that HAFA limits their ability to collect money, and that's why. It locks up the client and protects them so they cannot get any money in the future because they're waiving the right to collect the deficiency balance through HAFA, and they also cannot ask for a cash contribution or unsecured note. So HAFA limits the bank's ability to collect money, and that's why I see that Bank of America would create their own program. Now, would a bank come up with a program to reduce the liability for their borrowers? Would Bank of America come up with a program that has less liability than HAFA? Of course not. It's never in their ability or their nature to actually lose more money or forgive money easily. They really want to collect more money on every borrower they have. They're not going to say that because politically they don't want to sound like the bad guys, but that's what banks want. They want more money, and they're going to find out the best way to collect more money. And in my mind, the Cooperative Short Sale program is a great way for people to be led to believe that this is a great program because it mirrors HAFA, but in reality, the outcome is worse for the client than HAFA, and in the end, it's about the same as a traditional short sale, except for a little bit faster. So is there a benefit to it? Yeah. Are there ways to get around the negative sides of these cooperative short sale program? Definitely. And that's what we want to help people understand is there are benefits and there are ways to get around this if you have the right education on how to work with banks. In conclusion, if you're going to use the Cooperative Short Sale program through Bank of America, you need to be wise about what the bank's asking for and knowing how to get around it. We've been teaching agents for the last couple of years how to get around the bank's deficiency verbiage, how to make sure your client doesn't have an unsecured note or cash contribution at closing. So even though the Bank of America Cooperative Short Sale program says that they're allowed to do that, if you have the right education on how to negotiate with banks, you don't have to worry about that for your client, your seller. You can make sure that you get the right terms for them and make it a better deal than a foreclosure would. Thanks for joining me. This is Trent Chapman with Short Sale Genius. We'll talk to you later.